What's the single best way to overcome anxiety about public speaking? Stay tuned. In 1890, the father of American psychology, William James, published the first ever textbook on psychology in English. It was called Principles of Psychology. In it, William James tried to include some practical advice for how we can live our daily lives. So I'd like to read to you one quick quote from Principles of Psychology. William James writes, "Keep the faculty of effort alive in you by a little gratuitous exercise every day. That is, be systematically ascetic or heroic in little unnecessary points. Do every day or two something that for no other reason that you would rather not do it, so that when the hour of dire need draws nigh, it may find you not unnerved and untrained to stand the test. Asceticism of this sort is like the insurance which a man pays on his house and goods. The tax does him no good at the time, and possibly may never bring him a return. But if the fire does come, his having paid it will be his salvation from ruin. So with the man who has daily inured himself to habits of concentrated attention, energetic volition, and self-denial in unnecessary things. He will stand like a tower when everything rocks around him, and when his softer fellow mortals are winnowed like chaff in the blast." What is William James trying to tell us? He says sometimes it's useful for us to practice things that we don't like to do because sometimes we need to do them. Communicating with others that you don't know, whether individually or as an audience, is an essential life skill that is important for success. Yet lots of people have trouble with this basic skill, even me. There's even a commonly used stress induction technique used by experimental psychologists to get stress hormones flowing, where you surprise someone that they have to make a public speech. But notice I used the word skill. The good news is, public speaking is a skill that you can practice and develop. Now, of course, some people are going to have a steeper climb than others, but I have seen many students transform from horrible and nervous presenters into polished and confident communicators within just a few months' time. One thing is for sure, you're never going to get better at it by avoiding it. So I encourage you to take William James' advice. Use every possible opportunity to sharpen yourself, to hone your skills, to make mistakes and learn from them. Here's what you need. First, you need to find regular opportunities to make presentations. Preferably, these should be low-stakes opportunities. This is why you should seek out opportunities to public speak, even though you might feel a little uneasy about that, because the non-voluntary types of interactions tend to be high-stakes interactions. The next thing you need is people who will give you honest feedback. You have those people in your life who, it doesn't matter what you say or how you do, they're going to say, "Oh, you did a fantastic job." Those are not the people you want helping you. You want somebody who says, "Yeah, that was pretty good. Here are some things that I would change before moving on." That's going to be the key to helping you grow. You also need to have an attitude that realizes that you're not going to be perfect right away. I don't know if you've ever tried to play an instrument, but chances are when you started out, you were terrible. But you know what? You keep playing through those terrible notes, and eventually you start getting better. And then better and better. And if you stick with it long enough, you can get pretty darn good. It's not going to be fun, at least not at first. But who knows? You might learn that you actually like it. Don't give up. Persistence is key, especially after a failure. The temptation is, when things go wrong, to quit and never do it again. But that's exactly the opposite of what you should do. Picking yourself up and moving forward after the failure, that is how you keep getting better. Ask any stand-up comedian. A career in stand-up comedy involves bombing and bombing and bombing a lot, and eventually you get a Netflix special. So what kind of opportunities can you take? Well, there are clubs, there are college courses, there are recitals for some kind of hobby that you might be interested in, competitions. There's even a group called Toastmasters that explicitly exists for this purpose. At Toastmasters, people get up, they make speeches, and others give them feedback on how they can improve in the future. There are Toastmasters organizations all over the country.
But what if I do bad? I'll be judged. Everybody will think I'm stupid or something.
I understand it's hard to put yourself out there, and there's a fear of being judged and fear of failure. But let me address this in a few ways. First, so what? Who are you really trying to impress in these contexts I've just mentioned? If some stranger you're in class with thinks you're a complete buffoon, who cares? Is there really anybody whose opinion you value that much? But here's the thing, those people are so caught up in their own insecurities about their own presentation that they have to give, they probably aren't even paying attention to your mistakes. For the most part, people are supportive, not vindictive, especially if they see you struggling. It's empathy. That's a basic part of the human moral system. So the lesson is you can overcome these fears and anxieties about public speaking. You can become a competent and confident public speaker. Don't be afraid. It just takes practice and hard work like any other skill you might try. Good luck, everybody, and until next time, keep thinking. Hey, you know what's fun? Pushing buttons. So why don't you push the like button, subscribe, leave a comment, help us grow our channel so we can get the word out and help as many people as possible. Thanks.